The Ministry of Gender Equality and Family seeks to promote the broader well-being of Koreans in society by ensuring a fair and safe living environment for all. So what policies are in place to support single-parent families? What efforts are underway to protect women from violent crimes? And what initiatives are being planned to boost birth rates? Welcome to Issues and Insiders. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with the Minister of Gender Equality and Family for her thoughts and efforts aimed at promoting the overall welfare of the Korean society. I have Minister Kim Hyun-sook here in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for inviting.
Right, Minister Kim, you've been in office for a little over a year now.
Yes.
Let's begin perhaps with a few words about your ministry's work thus far.
Okay. I started off with the challenging task of restructuring our organization, unlike other ministries. I put all my energy into developing a reorganization plan that would benefit our citizens while further upgrading our existing politics on women, family, and youth at the same time. Looking back over the past year, I believe that both I and my colleagues at the ministry have worked more arduously than ever before. The policy we have diligently prioritized over the past 1 year was the youth policy. I strongly believe that in an era marked by significant declines in birth rate, it is crucial to effectively implement youth policies in a way that nurtures each and every young individual as a healthy, valuable asset for the future. Last year, we announced comprehensive measures to strengthen support for youth inside and outside of schools to ensure that adolescents receive sufficient support both within and beyond the schools. We are also carrying out youth policy companionship, which involves signing memorandum of understanding with municipal and provincial government and Office of Education. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we have also significantly scaled up programs for mental health care of at-risk adolescents, such as those facing suicide and self-harm risk. We have also stepped up the protection of adolescents from emerging and evolving harmful environment brought on by room cafes, drugs, and online gambling, among others.
Right, I see. Minister Kim, could you tell us a bit about the support that your ministry has for single-parent families?
During the presidential campaign, I personally designed the pledge to expand child care support for single-parent families. Now, upon assuming office, one of my foremost priorities was to visit single-parent support facilities. As such, I'm deeply committed to supporting single parents through targeted policy initiatives. We have broadened the scope of people eligible for child care subsidies for single-parent households, with approximately 20,000 additional individuals to benefit this year. Moreover, budget for child care subsidies for single-parent families increased by the largest margin of 17.7% from last year.
Right. Minister Kim, could you share with us a bit about your ministry's efforts to perhaps tackle heinous crimes against women?
Under the principle of a victim-centered approach and tougher penalties, we are meticulously carrying out a key national policy agenda for protecting and supporting the victims of 5 major types of violence. The Act on Protection of Victims of Stalking was enacted in January this year and is set to be enforced starting in July. Additionally, we have established and are operating an integrated solution support group on a pilot basis to eliminate the need for victims suffering multiple harms to visit each support agency separately.
I see. Back in March, you partook in the 67th session, I believe, of the Commission on the Status of Women. Minister Kim, what was discussed then?
Firstly, at the 67th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, we called the CSW, held at the UN headquarters in New York in March. The main agenda for discussion was innovation and technological change and education in the digital age for achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. Opportunities and threats that digital technology presents to us from the perspective of gender equality were discussed in various aspects. During the session of the CSW, in particular, I had a series of meetings with the Executive Director of UN Women, Vice President of the European Commission, as well as Minister of Gender and Family Promotion of Rwanda, Minister of Gender Equality of Sweden, and Minister of Social and Family Development of Singapore, among others. We acknowledged the need to expand the policies to promote the advancement of women and girls in emerging technologies and high value-added areas such as IT, AI, and big data to ensure that they are provided with more equal opportunities, and also discussed the need for international cooperation and coordination to deal with issues such as online sexual exploitation, violence, and hatred that are amplified by digital technologies. Regarding this matter, the Executive Director of UN Women herself assessed that Korea has shown best practice on tackling digital sex crime as well.
Right, that was a very encouraging compliment there. Minister Kim, you were in Germany and Sweden in June to touch upon family policies and ways to boost birth rates. Could you tell us a bit more about that trip?
I visited Germany and Sweden recently to learn from their best practices and strengthen exchanges, as they are known for their relatively higher fertility rate of 1.6 children per woman. First, in Sweden, I visited the Ministry of Employment, the Ministry of Health and Social Affairs, and the Swedish Social Insurance Agency, and engaged in discussion to build upon various practices of gender equality and family support policies. Sweden introduced parental leave for the first time in the world in 1974. The country implemented a mandatory 30-day period of paternity leave in 1994 and subsequently extended the leave period to 60 days in 2002 and further to 90 days starting in 2016, thereby institutionalizing equal parenting responsibility as well. It was deeply impressive to hear from the spokesperson for the Swedish Social Insurance Agency emphasizing the impact of mandatory paternity leave on the achievement of equal parenting responsibilities, evidenced by research results. He further shared the experience of the Swedish government, where the goal of gender equality ultimately translated into positive outcomes, also in terms of fertility rate. Next, in Germany, I visited the Federal Ministry for Family Affairs, Senior Citizens, Women and Youth, where the minister explained how the ministry recognizes itself as a social ministry encompassing the entire life cycle and population. I also saw firsthand the policy delivery mechanism being facilitated by collaboration across state government, its affiliated organizations, private institutions, and civil groups. Germany, in particular, has been actively supporting single-parent families, who account for 18% of the total household in the country, recognizing their unique circumstances, which often lead to economic difficulties. Germany introduced advanced maintenance payments in 1980 to provide targeted support ever since. I believe this example will be a valuable reference for crafting our policies for single-parent families.
And along with those policies to promote family stability, what policy, Minister Kim, is in place to address the wage gap between genders, as well as, of course, the challenge of securing jobs after a career break for women?
Gender pay gap in Korea stands at 31.1%. As of 2021, which is the largest among OECD countries and also significantly higher than OECD average of 11.9% for 21 member countries. Therefore, addressing the gender pay gap can be considered one of the key tasks in achieving gender equality in the economic domain. Above all, we recognize the importance of enabling women to have uninterrupted careers and remain actively engaged in the labor market. Last year, we expanded our policy paradigm for supporting women with career interruptions by shifting our focus from providing re-employment assistance to preventing career interruptions. This policy approach aims to minimize the attrition of working women from the labor market. We plan to operate job competence enhancement programs for parental leave takers in the software and AI industries to prevent their exit from the labor market, particularly for women with career interruptions. We'll scale up online classes and other vocational education and training is a promising emerging field that offer more flexibility in terms of location and time, while also bolstering job referral services. In addition, we'll diversify employment focus such as platform-based we will diversify employment forms such as platform-based work, local jobs, and entrepreneurship, and broaden the scope of job opportunities that are aligned with regional industrial characteristics. Moreover, we plan to strengthen career path consulting service for young women throughout their entire life cycle, as well as support for women in career change or transition for the digital field. Furthermore, we aim to reinforce care support for working parents by expanding personal child care service at home and create a family-friendly and gender-balanced corporate environment, among others, to promote a culture that encourages work-life balance.
Minister Kim, what efforts, broadly speaking that is, are also being made by your ministry to perhaps protect women in general from violence? I ask because I have a daughter in college and I was wondering what efforts are being made by the ministry with regard to that.
Okay, the Korean government has taken on the task of protecting victims of 5 major types of violence, including digital sex crimes and stalking, as part of its national policy agenda. Efforts are underway to improve the effectiveness of existing systems and establish a comprehensive support system. To begin with, the Act on Prevention of Stalking aimed at supporting stalking victims will come into effect on July 18, and a bill to amend the Act on Punishment of Stalking enforced from October 2021 has passed the National Assembly in June, namely calling for abolition of non-prosecution against the will of the victim. Starting from May, urgent housing support and treatment and recovery program have been provided to victims of stalking in cooperation with the Korean National Police Agency. Measures such as the installation of 112 emergency bells within the residential support facilities have been implemented to enable swift policy dispatch during emergencies. From the second half of this year, a linkage between Police 112 and the Women's Emergency Hotline 1366 will be established to provide immediate assistance to victims upon reporting incident. Additionally, private security service and other forms of support will be extended to individuals at high risk. On the other hand, in order to support the victims of digital sex crimes, we have expanded the operation of regional specialized counseling centers from 10 locations last year to 14 locations this year. These centers provide assistance in deleting the illegal filmed materials and offer counseling and recovery support. Moreover, to support victims suffering multiple harms, such as digital sex crimes accompanied by stalking, a pilot program called Integrated Support Service for Victims of 5 Major Types of Violence has been launched in Gyeonggi and Busan, operated by the Integrated Solution Support Group. This program provides one-stop case management support. Assistance is also widening for underserved victims, including the installation of protection facilities for male victims or victims with disabilities.
Right, for male victims and those with disabilities as well.
Okay.
That is good to know. Meanwhile, Minister Kim, come next month, that will be August, Korea will host the 25th World Scout Jamboree. Could you tell us a bit more about this gathering?
The upcoming 25th World Scout Jamboree 2023 Saemangeum will be the first large-scale international youth event since the COVID-19 pandemic and the largest ever in history, with over 43,000 participants from around 150 countries worldwide. The theme of this event is Draw Your Dream, and its most notable features include the global promotion of K-culture and the utilization of metaverse platforms, among other elements, making it a digital jamboree. As part of the main programs, we have prepared a range of on-site and off-site activities. Within this campground, the participants can engage in traditional Korean games, while in Jeonju Hanok Village, Buan, Jigsocheon, and Gosapo Beach, they can explore the nature, tradition, and history of Korea. We have also organized a diverse array of special activity programs, including K-pop concert, to enable youth from around the world to experience and enjoy K-pop and K-food. Through this jamboree, we anticipate that K-culture will extend its reach throughout the entire world, further elevating Korea's profile as a culture powerhouse. We have also launched the Jamboree, Metaverse, and the official mobile applications, allowing visitors to engage in Scout activities and immerse themselves in the culture of the Jeollabuk-do region. Within the virtual space, we kindly ask for your active participation. Not only Scout members, but also ordinary citizens are welcome to take part as day visitors and experience a wide range of exciting programs. We highly encourage you to bring your children along and visit the Jamboree venue to enjoy your time together.
And finally, Minister Kim, what can you tell us about your remaining objectives while in office?
This year, Sunny, our ministry will concentrate its capability on these three key areas: expanding women's participation in economic activities, addressing the issue of low birth rate, and supporting the growth of youth. First and foremost, we'll establish a pan-government council for female workforce development to reinforce cross-ministerial coordination and cooperation with a view to enabling outstanding female talent to pursue high-quality jobs in fields such as digital technology, semiconductor, and biotechnology. In addition, we are committed to working together with the private sector to promote work-life balance and a culture of gender equality within workplaces through the Happy Companionship initiative in promoting dialogue with exemplary companies that have enhanced gender balance, as well as women business leaders and women entrepreneurs organization. We will strive to create a society of gender equality where everyone can experience happiness. On the other hand, we will also devote a significant effort to tackling the issue of low birth rate, which is directly linked to our country's national competitiveness. To that end, our work will focus on enhancing care support, specifically through the expansion of personal child care service at home, promoting a culture of shared responsibility between men and women, and fostering work-life balance in the private sector through the family-friendly cooperation certification system. Moreover, we will continue our collaboration with education office nationwide, as well as municipal and provincial government to ensure that the various youth support measures that have been announced are effectively implemented on the ground.
Right, I see. Well, best of luck in your future endeavors, Minister Kim. Thank you so much for your time today.
And thank you for my invitation today. Thank you.
Right. Well, that is all the time we have for this edition of Issues and Insiders. Thank you for watching.